A simple habit can quietly drain thousands of dollars from a retirement account without anyone noticing. Not because of a market crash, not because of a medical emergency, just one tiny decision repeated over and over again. Now imagine 8 of those habits happening at the same time. That is exactly why some retirees constantly wonder where all their money went. They receive their monthly income, they promise themselves this month will be different, yet somehow by the end of the month, the account balance looks smaller than expected. The surprising part is that these habits rarely feel dangerous. They feel normal, they feel harmless. In fact, many retirees have followed them for decades. The good news is that tiny habits work both ways. The same way small mistakes slowly create financial stress, small smart decisions can quietly build confidence, security, and peace of mind. Today, we're breaking down 8 tiny habits that slowly make retirees poor. Some may seem obvious, others might surprise even the most careful saver. By the end, there's a good chance at least one of these habits will sound familiar. Let's begin with the first one. Number 1. Treating every small purchase like it doesn't matter. $5 here, $10 there, a snack while shopping, another streaming service, an extra item in the grocery cart because it was on sale. None of these purchases seem important by themselves. That is exactly why they become dangerous. Most retirees never wake up one morning and spend $10,000 on something unnecessary. Instead, they slowly spend $10 a day for years without ever thinking twice. The brain has an interesting habit. It pays attention to large purchases while ignoring the small ones. Buying a new television feels expensive. Buying a coffee every day feels harmless. But after hundreds of days, those tiny purchases become a mountain of money that could have covered groceries, utility bills, or emergency expenses. This does not mean never enjoying life. Retirement should still include little pleasures. The problem begins when spending becomes automatic instead of intentional. Before buying something small, ask one simple question. Would this still feel worth buying if this were the 5th time this week? That one question can stop countless unnecessary purchases before they happen. Number 2. Never checking where the money actually goes. Many retirees believe they have a good idea of their monthly spending. Then they write everything down for 30 days. The results often come as a complete surprise. Small subscriptions, extra grocery trips, impulse purchases, restaurant visits that felt inexpensive, delivery fees, convenience purchases. Individually, none of them seem like a problem. Together, they quietly consume hundreds of dollars every month. Money has a way of disappearing when nobody is paying attention. Think of it like driving a car without looking at the fuel gauge. Eventually, the tank runs empty. Keeping track of spending does not require complicated software or accounting skills. A simple notebook works. A calendar works. Even writing down every purchase at the end of the day creates awareness. Awareness changes behavior. People naturally spend more carefully when they know every purchase will be written down. It is one of the simplest habits with one of the biggest rewards. Number 3. Shopping because of boredom instead of need. Retirement brings freedom, but freedom also brings something many people never expect: more empty hours. During working years, schedules filled the day. Meetings, commutes, deadlines, responsibilities. Once retirement begins, those hours suddenly become available. Without realizing it, many retirees start filling those hours with shopping, walking through stores, browsing online, looking for deals, buying things simply because they are discounted. The purchase creates a brief feeling of excitement. Then it fades. Soon, another shopping trip feels necessary. This cycle slowly turns entertainment into unnecessary spending. Instead of asking, "Is this a good deal?" a better question is, "Would this even be on the shopping list if it were full price?" That single question removes emotion from the decision. Many so-called bargains quickly lose their appeal once the excitement of the discount disappears. Number 4. Refusing to say no. This habit often comes from a good heart, helping children, helping grandchildren, covering expenses for friends, paying for family dinners every time, giving money whenever someone asks. Generosity is a wonderful quality, but retirement savings have limits. Many retirees slowly place everyone else's financial needs ahead of their own. At first, it feels manageable. Then one unexpected expense appears: a home repair, a medical bill, a vehicle problem. Suddenly, the money that was given away is badly needed. One of the hardest lessons in retirement is understanding that protecting personal financial security is not selfish. It is responsible. A retiree who constantly rescues everyone else may eventually need rescuing. Helping families should never come at the cost of creating financial hardship later. Sometimes the kindest answer is simply saying, "Not this time." Number 5. Waiting too long to fix small problems. A dripping faucet, a strange noise in the car, a loose roof shingle, a tiny crack in a wall. Many retirees delay repairs hoping the problem will stay small. Sometimes it does, often it doesn't. Small problems have a habit of becoming expensive ones. That slow leak becomes water damage. That unusual engine sound becomes a major repair after the next heavy storm. Waiting often feels like saving money. In reality, it frequently creates larger bills later. A smart retiree understands that prevention usually costs far less than repair. Small maintenance today often protects thousands of dollars tomorrow. Number 6. Believing every sale is actually saving money. Stores understand human psychology extremely well. Bright signs, limited time offers, buy one, get one, huge discounts, special member prices. Everything is designed to make shoppers feel like they are winning. But there is one simple truth. Money is only saved when something that was already needed is purchased for less. Buying something unnecessary simply because it was discounted is not saving money. It is spending money. Many retirees proudly come home saying they saved $50. The real question is different. How much actually left the wallet? Imagine walking into a store for toothpaste and leaving with bags full of items that were too good to pass up. The receipt says money was saved. The bank account tells a different story. Before every purchase, pause for a moment and ask one question. If this item were not on sale, would it still be coming home today? If the answer is no, the discount is probably costing more than it is saving. Number 7. Thinking tomorrow will always be cheaper. Many people delay preparing for future expenses because today feels comfortable. Maybe the roof still has another year. Maybe the car can wait a little longer. Maybe healthcare costs will somehow stay manageable. Hope is comforting. Planning is better. Retirement is filled with predictable expenses that arrive eventually. Appliances wear out. Cars need replacing. Homes require maintenance. Healthcare costs often increase with age. Ignoring these realities does not make them disappear. It simply makes them arrive as unpleasant surprises. Financially secure retirees often build small savings for future expenses long before they become emergencies. They understand that predictable costs should never become financial shocks. Even setting aside a modest amount each month creates breathing room when life inevitably throws a curveball. The goal is not to predict every expense. The goal is to avoid being caught completely unprepared. Number 8. Believing tiny habits cannot change financial success. This may be the most expensive habit of them all. Many retirees look for one big solution, one major cut, one dramatic lifestyle change. One magical answer that instantly fixes everything. Real life rarely works that way. Financial security is usually built the same way financial stress is created, slowly, quietly, one decision at a time. Choosing to cook one extra meal at home, canceling one unused subscription, planning grocery trips before leaving the house, walking away from one unnecessary purchase, comparing prices before buying, turning off lights that are not being used, keeping a simple monthly spending record. None of these actions feels life-changing, but together they create powerful momentum. Think about brushing your teeth. Skipping one day probably will not create a serious problem. Skipping hundreds of days certainly will. Money works much the same way. Small habits repeated over months and years create results that seem surprisingly large. That is why the wealthiest retirees are not always the ones who earned the biggest incomes during their careers. Very often, they are simply the ones who consistently avoided small financial mistakes. They understood something that many people overlook. Financial freedom is rarely about perfection. It is about consistency. No retiree makes perfect decisions every single day. Unexpected expenses happen. Mistakes happen. Impulse purchases happen. The difference is that financially confident retirees recognize those moments quickly and return to healthy habits instead of allowing one mistake to become a permanent pattern. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more retirement tips, money advice, and practical life lessons.